Hello, welcome to News Now on TV360. I am Fidelia Aguncha. At least 18 people are trapped beneath the rubble of a 4-story building which collapsed in the Jabi area of Abuja. According to reports, the building, which was under construction, had about 25 people inside when it collapsed. Meanwhile, about 6 persons have been rescued while 2 have been confirmed dead. Reports say the building located at Jabi area of Abuja had been abandoned for 15 years, but contractors were recently mobilized to the site. Officials of Federal Capital Territory Fire Service and National Emergency Management Authority (NEMA) are currently at the scene. Meanwhile, the Association of Professional Women Engineers has charged fellow professionals to ensure sustainable infrastructure to protect human lives. Some members of the group gave the charge while speaking to reporters at the end of its lecture in Lagos, southwest Nigeria.
The transformation that is ongoing, especially in Lagos State, we have massive construction in making Lagos State the mega city that it is. This team couldn't have been better positioned to happen now. It's very, very apt that we're talking about sustainability. What are we going to do to ensure that we have sustainable infrastructure, not just erecting construction buildings, ensuring that there are other amenities that will go with some of these buildings to ensure that human lives are not lost, that humans who are inhabited in this environment are well taken care of.
I mean, we've all. It's been an interesting day. It's been a very effectful and very thought-provoking session. It's been on sustainability in a built environment, and essentially what we're talking about is we are rehashing what a whole lot of us know, that the things we need to be doing is to ensure that our strategy all around building must be in a way and manner that we look into the future. We're ensuring that there is an equilibrium between what we're doing now and what we should be ensuring that for the future we're not endangering future users of what we're doing now.
The United Nations is demanding the release of 3 aid workers kidnapped by Boko Haram in March 2018. The UN humanitarian coordinator in Nigeria, Edwin Kalon, made the demand during a visit to the Borno State Governor Kashim Shettima in Maiduguri. The aid workers were abducted when the terrorists attacked Ran, a village of about 150 kilometers west of Maiduguri. Kalon, who was visiting the governor to mark the World Humanitarian Day, also requested that aid workers in the northeast must be protected from attacks by Boko Haram insurgents. The federal government has insisted that it did not pay any ransom to anyone for the release of the Dapchi schoolgirls. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, has challenged anyone who has any evidence of such payment to publish it. He gave the challenge in response to a UN report which alleged that the federal government paid a huge ransom to secure the release of 105 Dapchi schoolgirls who were abducted in their hostel in February 2018. The federal government has repeatedly insisted no ransom was paid, but noted that the release of the girls were part of long-term negotiations with the sect. A non-governmental organization, African Community Bridge Foundation, is empowering internally displaced persons in Nigeria's Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The foundation is collaborating with some U.S. investors to provide IDPs and other participants with relief materials and grants running into 10 million naira. The beneficiaries were given the grants and materials at a brief ceremony in Abuja.
For African Community Bridge Foundation to encapsulate the meaning of society, goodwill, entrepreneurship, job creation. It couldn't get any better. So when they extended invitation for partnership, of course they are Prince George's County residents. We were very quick to jump on the board. As a matter of fact, it was.
What has motivated me in this regard is to help the needy, to help. There shouldn't be a reason for people to go hungry. There shouldn't be a reason for people not to be able to feed their families. But I believe that if we train people, if we empower them and give them the means to be able to feed themselves, then families won't go hungry. There will be corruption will be reduced because people will be able to feed themselves, and there won't be any need to do things that are not the right things to do. We intend to do our annual empowerment program every year, and we intend to. Today's event empowered over 100 people with over 10 million naira. We intend to continue doing this, and with foreign partners, we anticipate that this should go on for at least 5-10 years from now.
Some of the participants also expressed gratitude for the gesture.
I'm really happy for African Community Bridge Foundation for what they are doing. I'm really happy. It's not only me, entire my other members from the IDP camp. We are all very happy for this day.
This money that they give me now, I will make my life better. I will do business with the money and make my children feel happy. I will take my children to school if I start business now.
The All Progressives Congress is urging the National Assembly to reconvene without further delay. The party spokesperson, Yakini Nabena, asked the legislature to urgently consider the crucial budget of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, for the general elections. Nabena alleged that the sanctity of the nation's electoral system was being threatened by an alleged plot to frustrate the efforts of the executive, particularly INEC, in the run-up to the polls in 2019. He has also accused the People's Democratic Party and the Senate leadership of an attempt to hide under the Electoral Act Amendment Bill in order to draw attention away from the reconvening of the National Assembly. Still on the ruling party, its Lagos State chapter has inaugurated some physically challenged members as ward leaders in the southwestern state. The members were inaugurated at a brief ceremony where party leader Dingo Ologunde advised them to be good ambassadors of the party. In response, a leader of the group, Israel Akiode, thanked the party for the recognition, pledging to ensure the party's growth in Lagos State.
What we are doing here today is a meeting of all the special officers in APC. There are 376 wards in Lagos State. We have today we have 376 special officers in every ward.
I want to tell them that all the fiscal challenge members of APC, we did the convention this year concerning our people, to put them in their positions, to let them know what their day-to-day are belonging to our people. For example, now we started it from the World Exco, from there to State Exco, from there to HGS Excos, from there to National Exco. All the fiscal challenge are represented there.
The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Mahmood Yakubu, has charged newly registered 23 political parties to respect the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Mahmood gave the charge while presenting certificates of registration to the parties in Abuja. The INEC chairman also asked the parties to ensure their primaries are free and fair for all aspirants.
As political parties, you have an obligation to respect your constitutions. Your members abide by INEC's guidelines and regulations, obey the Electoral Act, and above all, submit to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The 2019 general election is only 183 days away from today. You should try to make a difference to politics and elective representation by conducting open, transparent, inclusive, and peaceful primaries for the nomination of credible candidates for the election. By doing so, you will give Nigerians greater choice, thereby adding value to our democracy and strengthening the quality of elective representation.
A journalist working for Premium Times, Samuel Ogundikbe, has finally been released from police custody. Ogundikbe was released on Friday after he was granted bail by a magistrate court in Kubwa, Abuja. He was granted bail in the sum of 500,000 naira and a surety who must be resident within the court's jurisdiction. Ogundikbe is standing trial for theft and unlawful possession of restricted and classified documents, which the police say is capable of jeopardizing the peace and unity of the nation. The charges relate to his publication of the letter of the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, on the former Director General of the Department of Security Services, Lawan Daura. In a related development, another magistrate court in Abuja has adjourned the trial of a journalist, Jones Abiri, until September 5. Magistrate Chukwemeka Okafor adjourned the trial on Friday following the absence of the prosecutor and the defense counsel in court when the case was called. Abiri is standing trial for alleged link to armed militancy in the Niger Delta region, but has repeatedly denied the allegations. He was arrested in July 2016 and was under secret detention until he was granted bail on Wednesday. The Nigerian government and its international technical partners have kick-started the 2018 Nigeria Demographic and Health Survey. The Minister of Health, Isaac Adewale, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Abdullahi Adamu, says the survey is designed to collect high-quality data on health and well-being of Nigerians for better policy formulation. The survey, which commenced on August 15, will end on December 15 and will be handled by the National Population Commission.
The specific objective of the DHS is to collect high-quality data for policy formulation, program planning, monitoring and evaluation. It is also aimed at fostering and reinforcing host country ownership of data collection, analysis, presentation and use. Additionally, it seeks to increase the capacity of host country partners to collect and use data for policy and program implementation purposes.
I'm made to understand that it's somewhere in the region of about 11 million US dollars, with 7 million contributed from our side by USA, and then 3 million to be contributed internally by the federal government of Nigeria.
We'll take a short break now and return shortly. Do stay with us.
Nigeria yiti gbogbo wa ni. Oh boy, now what for this our obodo Naija o? You know say I fit choose who go rule this our country come 2019.
Who tell you say you get that kind power? Abi you get connection up here?
Shine your eyes. Yes ke? With my PVC, I get power when no connection fit give anybody.
Hey, the guys you mean I'm say with only PVC I fit choose ampo, senator, governor and even president?
With my PVC, I fit vote who I want, how I want it, and when I want it.
Uche dikwano kwa sense dey there. But you mean now?
Yes, anywhere you dey, whether na for office, for shop, or even if na house, papa, as long as you don't reach 18 years, make una alele go get una PVC because this country now we all know.
This message is powered by Good Governance Ambassador of Nigeria, Gogan.
Welcome back. Now shifting our focus to the world of business, Esther Vasey is standing by with details. Hello, Esther.
Hi, Fidelia.
I heard there is an increase in Nigeria's foreign exchange inflow. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, actually, a new report from the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, shows aggregate foreign exchange inflow into the country increased to $91 billion in 2017. The Apex Bank's draft 2017 annual report also revealed the figure represents an increase of 45% from $62.75 billion recorded in 2016. The report also shows inflow through the CBN was $42.17 billion, while inflow through autonomous sources amounted to $48.33 billion. At the same time, aggregate forex outflow from the economy increased by 31.8% to $33.68 billion. The central bank attributed the increase to foreign exchange inflow to its sustained intervention at the interbank and bird exchange segment of the forex market. And the central bank has also asked lenders to submit bids for the Chinese yuan for its second auction of the currency after it agreed a swap with the People's Bank of China. You recall in May, the Central Bank of Nigeria signed a $2.5 billion three-year currency swap deal with Beijing to facilitate trade between the two countries and cut reliance on the dollar. It also sold 69.86 million yuan in its first auction to the Chinese currency 2 weeks ago at a range of 49 to 51 naira. In the global markets, oil prices dipped today with U.S. crude heading for a seventh weekly decline amid increasing concerns about slowing global economic growth that could hit demand for petroleum products as inventories build. Brent crude oil futures were down 9 cents at $71.34 a barrel, while U.S. crude dropped 5 cents to $65.41 a barrel. Traders say the main drags on prices were the darkening economic outlook due to trade tensions between the United States and China and weakening currencies in emerging economies that are weighing down on growth and fuel consumption. Well, let's take a look at today's stock market report. In a different turn of events, the bulls took back dominance with a 1.87% rise in the all-share index at 35,226.29 basis points. That's after 10 consecutive market days of decline. Now, from its last recorded bullish run to yesterday, the equities market lost over 750 billion naira. Gaining back some of that loss, today's trading closed with a market capitalization at 12.874 trillion naira. Now, recovering from yesterday's loss, having led 29 losers, Dangote came up with a 6.8% rise to close at 220 naira. Unilever followed with a 3.77% rise to close at 55 naira, while Air Service rose by 9.88% to close at 4 naira and 45 kaba. Cortex also closed with a 4.50% rise at 4 naira and 18 kaba. On the flip side, leading 24 losers were Dangote Sugar, NACO, Union Bank of Nigeria, and WACO. Now, on the top traders list, we have NEM Insurance, Mansard, Transcorp, and Zenith Bank, all with their share prices or shares for the day over 60% of the total number of shares traded today. And at the close of the day's trading, 374.319 million shares were transacted in 2,875 deals. Well, there you have it, Fidelia.
Well, it was indeed a good day for investors at the Nigeria Stock Exchange.
Yeah, hopefully next week they'll pick up from where they stopped.
Hopefully. Well, we'll take a short break now and return with foreign and sports news. Don't go away.
Corruption not in my country.
What's your name?
Onosude Omorife. May you check your own list, cause the list where they outside. Onosude Daniel name never do.
Your name is Onoriode. You even went as a fashion designer.
As you don't come back, so now I won't go as Akpobori Ovi, and Ovi won't go as pilots.
That is impersonation.
My own share for the national cake be that.
Mr. Onosode.
Akpobori.
The Amnesty Program is an intervention project for sustainable economic development of the Niger Delta, which you are a beneficiary of. Lying under pretext for your selfish gain and advantage is robbing others of the same opportunity. And that is an act of corruption, not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Glad to have you back. The United States and the European Union have condemned the brutal treatment of members of parliament by the military in Uganda. The U.S. Embassy statement posted on Twitter asked the Ugandan government to respect the human rights of all of its citizens. The EU called for an end to oppression, saying the event had harmed Uganda's global reputation. On Thursday, lawyers for the opposition MP and Afrobeat star Robert Yagulani, known as Bobby Wine, said he had been so badly beaten in military custody that he could barely see, talk or walk when he appeared before a military court. He was charged with unlawful possession of firearms after being arrested in the run-up to the presidential election. The World Health Organization says it could not be certain that it had identified all people exposed to the deadly Ebola virus in the Democratic Republic of Congo's North Kivu region, where insecurity prevents aid workers from reaching some areas. More than 500 people have been vaccinated so far against the disease in Congo's latest outbreak, marked by a total of 78 confirmed and probable cases, including 44 deaths. The organization also added that some 1,500 people have been identified as contacts of infected people. The lawyer Adzad Habila has said that FIFA cannot ban Nigeria over the lingering leadership crisis in the Nigeria Football Federation (NFF), which needed to be sorted out internally by the country's judiciary. Habila, who is counsel to Chris Giwa, an NFF factional president, dismissed the threat by FIFA to ban Nigeria from all football activities following intervention by the court. Giwa had dragged the Pinnick-led board to court over forceful takeover of the NFF secretariat following Pinnick's emergence as president in an election conducted on September 30, 2014. The election prevented Giwa, who claims to have emerged as NFF president at an earlier election on August 26, 2014, from assuming office. Nigeria will know its fate on Monday. Manchester City midfielder Kevin De Bruyne will be out for 3 months after a knee injury. The Belgium international, a second-half substitute in Sunday's 2-0 victory over Arsenal, suffered the injury in training on Wednesday. The 27-year-old sustained an injury on his right knee but does not need surgery. He missed 12 games in 2016 after injuring the same knee during an EFL Cup semi-final victory over Everton. FIFA's disciplinary committee has fined Atletico Madrid €46,200 for entering into a contract that enabled a third party to influence the club's independence in employment and transfer-related matters. Atletico Madrid were banned for 2 transfer windows recently for falling foul of FIFA's rules on signing underage players, although the relative size of this fine is insignificant compared to the impact of the ban had on their progress as one of Europe's elites. Well, that's the news now on TV360. Do log on to our website at www.tv360nigeria.com for more news updates and follow us across our social media. Our handle is TV360Nigeria. Thank you so much for watching. I am Fidelia Aguncha. Bye for now.